Welcome back. For RotoExperts.com, I'm Nate Pigott here to help you dominate the competition with this fantasy football roto clip. And today we're going to talk about the wide receivers to start and sit in Week 7 of the NFL season. Week 7 being a very tough week for wide receivers. You look at the bye weeks for guys like Calvin Johnson and Reggie Wayne. Then you look at other top options like Deshaun Jackson, probably out with injuries. So it leaves the position very thin. A lot of people are going to be searching the waiver wires to try to find players. So I have two players you're going to want to plug and play, and I also have one player who was a popular option at the beginning of the season who's back, and I think you can once again rely on him. And actually that player is Steve Smith, the original Steve Smith, the Carolina Steve Smith. He's back at practice. All indications are that he will start for the Panthers against the New England Patriots. So go ahead and get him into your starting lineup. Even better news for Steve Smith is Matt Moore is back. And while Matt Moore might not be Joe Montana, he's certainly proven that he knows how to find his top option. At the beginning of the year, in 2 starts, Moore hit Steve Smith for 141 yards through the air and 2 scores. Last year, 398 with 3 scores in only 4 games together. So you gotta like Steve Smith's chances now that Moore's back at quarterback. They take on the San Francisco 49ers in Carolina. It's not the best matchup, but I think Steve Smith's value is back up with Moore at quarterback. Get him into your lineup. Now, 2 guys you can probably pick up on the free agent wire right now. First, Patrick Creighton from the San Diego Chargers. Phillip Rivers is going to find his wide receivers regardless of what their name is. He proved it last week. Antonio Gates was banged up, Malcolm Floyd banged up, Legadou Nane also has had an injury. So Creighton stepped up and had 100 yards. I think he can do the same thing this week as Floyd's still dealing with a hamstring injury, Gates with a toe. Phillip Rivers is going to target Creighton. You can get him into your lineup for this week if you have a hole due to a bye or an injury. And finally, Jason Avant. All you Deshaun Jackson owners, you're going to want to go out and grab Avant. If you look at Kevin Kolb, he's averaged close to 300 yards over the last 2 games. He's finally producing the way that Andy Reid thought he would at the beginning of the season. I think he increases the value of the receivers in that lineup, especially Jason Avant, who is starting this week for Deshaun Jackson. So you can expect Avant to get a number of targets. He's reliable. You can plug and play him as a wide receiver 3/flex option for Week 7. Now let's move on and talk about the guys you're going to want to leave on the bench. And I have 3 of them, 2 from the same team. That's the Buffalo Bills wide receivers, Steve Johnson, Lee Evans. You can bench them. Even though the last time we saw these guys, they had a very productive day, 10 receptions and 3 touchdowns between the 2 of them. I don't like their matchup at Baltimore this weekend. Baltimore 3rd against the pass, but they've only allowed 4 touchdowns in 6 games. And really, Steve Johnson's value has been all based on the touchdown. He had 4 in the last 3 games, and when that's taken away, I don't think he has much value at all. Lee Evans is really a droppable player. His only real productive game was the last one. I don't like Evans at all for this week. Finally, let's talk about Michael Crabtree of the San Francisco 49ers. And if you look at Crabtree, he's finally emerging into the player everybody expected him to be. However, tough matchup this weekend. They go on the road to Carolina, the 5th ranked pass defense in the NFL, a defense that not only is limiting yards, but they are really causing problems for the quarterback. A passer rating of 66.6 against the Panthers. Alex Smith is going to have a tough day, and I think his top target, Crabtree, suffers because of that. If you have Crabtree in as a wide receiver 2, I think you can move him out of your lineup. I have him outside the top 25. 10-team leagues, you can bench him. Deeper leagues, he's a flex option, but I'm looking elsewhere. I don't expect a big game from Michael Crabtree. For more fantasy football advice, check out RotoExperts.com. We have live advice, email advice, daily columns. We have our exclusive Edge package, which is on sale right now, and that features a Sunday chat with Scott Engel, Fantasy Sports Hall of Famer. He'll help you get your lineup set. He'll help you win on Sunday. Tomorrow, check us out. Quarterback start sits with Tamer Chama. I'll be back next week with more wide receiver information. I'm Nate Pigott, and I hope you dominate your competition this weekend.